Beloved friends, today I invite you to remember something profound. You are more powerful than you know. Within you lies the ability to create change, not just small shifts, but miracles. Yes, miracles, and the time to start is now. Let us begin with the truth. Your thoughts create your reality. Every word you speak is an affirmation. When you say, "I can't," the universe listens. When you say, "I am ready," the universe listens just the same. Why not use that power wisely? Begin today by speaking life into your dreams. Say, "I am open and ready to receive miracles. I am worthy of a life I love." This is not just wishful thinking. This is reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are planting seeds with your words. Tend to them lovingly. And none of this is possible without self-love. Self-love is the soil in which all transformation grows. You cannot hate yourself into a better life. You must nourish your heart with kindness and compassion. Stand before the mirror, look into your own eyes and say, "I love you. I really, really love you." At first, it may feel strange, even painful. That's okay. Keep going. You are healing. Next, we must become aware of the beliefs we've carried for too long, beliefs like "I'm not good enough" or "change is hard." These are not truths. They are simply thoughts you've repeated until they felt real. Today, you can choose new beliefs. You can say, "I am willing to release all old patterns. I am ready to receive the new." Once you've cleared space, it's time to visualize. See your life as you want it to be. Feel it. Believe in it. Imagine yourself joyful, healthy, fulfilled. The key is to feel it as if it's already here. The universe responds not to desperation, but to certainty. And when your emotions align with your vision, you become a powerful magnet for the very things you seek. Now, let's add something magical: gratitude. Gratitude shifts your frequency immediately. The more you appreciate, the more you attract to appreciate. Each day say, "I am grateful for all I have and all that is on its way." Gratitude is a sacred acknowledgement that you are in the flow of life and life is good. And finally, the most sacred key of all, live in the present. You cannot manifest from the past, nor can you create from fear of the future. Miracles happen in the now. Breathe, feel your heartbeat, be here. Life loves you, and life is happening now. Dear one, it's time to step into your power, time to rewrite your story, time to say yes to miracles. You are not broken, you are becoming, and your new life begins the moment you believe it is possible. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and say with me, "I am ready to manifest miracles. I am ready to change my life forever." The power of affirmations. Learn how spoken and written affirmations shape your reality and reprogram your subconscious mind. When we begin talking about changing our lives, truly, radically transforming the landscape of our experience, we must start at the root. And the root, dear friends, is the mind. The way we think, the words we use, the beliefs we carry, these are the blueprints for the life we live. Every thought you think is a declaration to the universe, and every word you speak is an instruction to your subconscious. This is where the power of affirmations comes in, not as wishful phrases or empty mantras, but as tools for neurological and energetic transformation. You see, your subconscious mind does not question what it hears repeatedly. It simply absorbs and acts. If over years you've told yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "nothing ever works out for me," those statements become not only internal truths, but external realities. This isn't magic, it's psychology, it's cognitive conditioning. Affirmations work by interrupting old neural patterns and replacing them with empowering alternatives. Every time you repeat a positive statement, one that supports your growth, your healing, your abundance, you're carving a new pathway in the brain. Over time, those pathways become roads, roads become highways, and suddenly the thoughts that once felt foreign asterisk, I am worthy, I am safe, I am enough, asterisk become the ground you stand on. But there's more to it. For affirmations to truly work, they must be paired with feeling. Saying the words is important, yes, but feeling the truth of them, that's what activates them. If you say, I love myself, with judgment or resistance, your subconscious won't integrate the message. But if you say it softly, even with tears in your eyes, even with trembling hands, but with willingness, then the doors begin to open. The heart listens, the energy shifts. Some of you may be wondering, how can I affirm something I don't yet believe? And the answer is this: you don't have to believe it completely, you just have to be willing to believe it. That's enough. That willingness creates a crack in the wall, and through that crack, the light gets in. That's how healing begins. Affirmations are not about pretending. They're about choosing to tell a new story, even while the old one still echoes in the background. They are an act of courage, and they are an act of love. Let me share something deeply important. Whatever you constantly affirm, you invite. This means that many of us have been affirming struggle, lack, and limitation for years without even realizing it. Think about how often we say, I'm tired, I never have enough money, I always mess things up. These are affirmations too. They just happen to be ones we've accepted as casual or factual, but the subconscious doesn't interpret tone, it only hears repetition. So it's time to become conscious. It's time to speak to yourself as someone you love. In practical terms, this means choosing a few affirmations that resonate with the life you desire, not from a place of desperation, but from a place of vision. Write them down, speak them aloud every day, ideally in front of a mirror. Feel their vibration in your body. Let them rewire your inner landscape, and when doubt arises, as it naturally will, return to your breath. Return to your heart and speak the words again. This is the foundation of all change, shifting the way you speak to yourself. It is the beginning of all miracles. It is how you reclaim authorship of your life's narrative. So I ask you, if every word is a seed, what will you plant today? Let it be something beautiful. Let it be something bold. Let it be something that reminds you, you are the miracle you've been waiting for. Self-love as a foundation. Understand why loving yourself unconditionally is essential to manifesting lasting change. Let's talk about something foundational. So foundational, in fact, that without it, all the other tools we use for transformation begin to wobble, fall apart, or simply never take root. That foundation is self-love. Now, I want to say this clearly because for many people, it's a radical idea. You cannot create a life of miracles while rejecting yourself. You cannot sustain healing or prosperity while secretly harboring the belief that you are unworthy of either. And yet, this is where so many of us begin, dragging behind us years, sometimes decades of shame, criticism, self-judgment. We've internalized voices that told us we weren't enough, smart enough, attractive enough, successful enough, and we've repeated those messages to ourselves, sometimes without even realizing it. But here's the truth, self-love is not a luxury, it is not an ego trip, it is not selfish, it is essential. It is the ground out of which all change grows. When you love yourself, you stop punishing yourself for the past. You stop measuring yourself against impossible standards. You stop treating yourself as a problem to fix and begin seeing yourself as someone worthy of care, tenderness, and joy. Think about how many times you've said things to yourself you'd never say to a friend. You forgot something and you called yourself stupid. You looked in the mirror and you found a dozen flaws. You made a mistake and you said, "I always do this," as if your error defined your identity. These may seem like small moments, but they accumulate. They shape the way we relate to ourselves, and over time, that relationship becomes the filter through which we see the world. Philosophically, self-love is the act of aligning your inner self with the truth of your inherent value. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. Not because of how others see you, but because you exist. You are a unique, unrepeatable expression of life itself. That in and of itself makes you worthy. Psychologically, self-love is the foundation of resilience. It's what allows you to try again after failure. It's what gives you the courage to say no to what harms you and yes to what nourishes you. It's what helps you set boundaries, pursue dreams, and believe that you matter. When you love yourself, you stop sabotaging your progress. You begin making choices that honor your well-being. You stop settling, and here's the beautiful thing, self-love is not something you either have or don't have. It's something you practice, daily, hourly even. It's the way you speak to yourself. It's what you allow in your life. It's how you forgive yourself, how you care for your body, how you rest when you're tired instead of pushing yourself to the brink. Some people resist this idea because they think self-love is indulgent or unrealistic. But let me tell you, self-love is the most grounded, responsible thing you can do. Because when you love yourself, you no longer seek approval from others in destructive ways. You stop needing to be saved, fixed, or validated from the outside. You become the source of your own stability. That's power, that's freedom, and yes, it can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've spent years criticizing yourself. But just like learning a new language, it gets easier with use. Start with small acts of kindness. Look in the mirror and say, "I am learning to love you." Put your hand on your heart and breathe. Begin again as many times as you need to. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are unfolding just as you should. So here's what I'll leave you with. The life you're dreaming of is waiting for someone who loves themselves enough to receive it. Be that person. Releasing limiting beliefs, discover techniques to identify and let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. Let's go a little deeper now, into a place that most of us rarely explore with intention, into the quiet but powerful realm of our beliefs. Because no matter how much you love yourself, no matter how many affirmations you speak, if you're still operating under the weight of outdated, limiting beliefs, your progress will feel like trying to run with your feet tied together. Beliefs are not facts. Let's begin there. They are interpretation stories we've picked up from parents, culture, school, trauma, repetition. A belief is just a thought you've repeated often enough that it became automatic. And once it becomes automatic, it becomes invisible. We start to say things like, "That's just the way I am," or "That's just how life is," without ever questioning who handed us that idea in the first place. Some of these beliefs are small and personal. I'm bad with money. I'm not creative. No one really understands me. Others are more collective, inherited from generations before us. Life is struggle. You have to earn your worth. Love always hurts. These beliefs sit beneath the surface of our conscious thoughts and quietly dictate our choices, our reactions, our relationships, even our dreams. So the first step is awareness. Begin to notice the repeating patterns in your life. What keeps showing up? What do you keep attracting? And most importantly, what do you tell yourself when those things happen? That voice, the one that says, "See, this always happens," is pointing directly to a belief. Don't run from it. Listen to it, observe it. That voice is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It's showing you where healing can happen. Once you've identified a limiting belief, the next step is not to fight it. That only strengthens it. Instead, begin to question it. Ask, is this actually true? Do I know this to be a fact? Where did I learn this? What might be possible if I believed something different? You're not trying to bulldoze the belief, you're gently loosening its grip. You're creating mental and emotional space for a new idea to take root. This is where your affirmations and your self-love practices begin to integrate. You've cleared a little room in the soil, and now you can plant something new. A belief that supports you, a belief that reflects the truth of your value and your potential. Something like, "It's safe for me to receive," or "I am not defined by my past," or "I am willing to believe that life supports me." You don't have to believe it entirely at first. You just have to be willing. Willingness is the first breath of belief. There's also an emotional component to releasing beliefs. Sometimes we hold on to them because they protected us once. Believing that love was dangerous may have helped you survive an early heartbreak. Believing that success wasn't for you may have shielded you from disappointment. So when you let these beliefs go, do it with compassion. You don't need to resent them. You can simply say, "Thank you for trying to protect me. I don't need you anymore." This is the work that transforms a person, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. When you shift your core beliefs, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, the world begins to respond differently. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you stopped standing in your own way. So ask yourself today, not with judgment, but with curiosity, what have I been believing that is no longer true for the person I am becoming? That one question can change your entire life. Because when you free your mind, you free your future. Visualization and emotional alignment use mental imagery and emotional vibration to align with the life you want. Let's now talk about one of the most powerful tools we have for transformation, the imagination, the mind's ability to see what is not yet visible, to feel what is not yet material, is not a fantasy. It's not escapism, it's creation, and when used with intention, it becomes a bridge between your inner world and your outer reality. This is the practice of visualization paired with emotional alignment, and it's one of the most direct ways to begin manifesting the miracles you desire. You see, the mind doesn't distinguish much between what's real and what's vividly imagined. From a neurological standpoint, when you repeatedly visualize an experience and fully immerse your emotions into that picture, your brain begins to wire as if it's already happening. You're not just dreaming about it, you're preparing for it. You're signaling to your nervous system that this experience is safe, familiar, and possible. And what the brain accepts as familiar, the body begins to move toward. This is why simply thinking positively isn't enough. You have to feel the reality of your vision. You have to embody the emotion that your desired life would bring you. If you want peace, you practice feeling peace now. If you want love, you open your heart now. You don't wait until the circumstances change. You change your emotional frequency and the circumstances follow. Now I want to be clear. This is not about pretending your current challenges don't exist. It's about choosing not to identify with them as the whole story. It's about recognizing that you have the power to hold two truths at once. This is where I am, and this is where I'm going. That simple act of inner duality is where growth begins. You begin to orient your energy not from lack, but from possibility. And that shift changes everything. So how do you begin? You set aside time each day, just a few quiet minutes, to see yourself living the life you want. See it as clearly as you can, the sights, the sounds, the texture of it, and more importantly, feel it. Let your body experience the joy, the security, the freedom of it as if it were real in this moment. That emotional resonance is what activates the manifestation process. You're not waiting to be rescued by fate. You're generating alignment through conscious emotional practice. Many people misunderstand visualization as something passive, as if it's merely wishing and waiting. But real visualization, the kind that transforms lives, is active. It's devotional. It's a declaration. I am willing to believe in what I have not yet seen. That's not delusion. That's faith in action. And when paired with aligned behavior, this emotional vision begins to shape your choices. You start making decisions from the identity of the person you're becoming, not the one you've been. That's where change becomes sustainable, because it's no longer about forcing results. It's about becoming someone who naturally creates those results. So remember this, your imagination is not separate from your reality. It is the seedbed of your future. What you see within, you invite without. What you feel, you attract. And what you believe in deeply enough, you begin to embody. Ask yourself now, if I could truly feel the future I desire, how would I show up today? Because the moment you align your energy with your vision, you no longer chase miracles. You become one. Gratitude as a magnetic force. Learn how cultivating gratitude daily magnetizes more positive experiences. Let's now turn to a truth that is both gentle and revolutionary. Healing is possible. Not only that, but it is essential to the process of creating a new life. Because you cannot build a future of light on a foundation of unresolved pain. You can try, yes, and for a while it may even look like things are working, but eventually the weight of what's unhealed will rise up, asking to be seen, not to punish you, but to set you free. Healing is not about forgetting what happened. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's not about covering your wounds with positive thinking and calling it growth. True healing is about turning inward with honesty, with compassion, and being willing to meet the parts of yourself that still hurt. The part that was abandoned, the part that was rejected, the part that had to survive when it wanted to thrive. Those parts are not obstacles to your progress. They are your progress. They are what need your love the most. You see, most of us carry around unresolved emotions like invisible luggage, anger, shame, guilt, fear. We push them down hoping they'll disappear. But emotions don't dissolve with time, they dissolve with attention. When we suppress pain, we bury it alive. And that pain begins to shape our thoughts, our choices, our relationships. It shows up as self-sabotage, as chronic anxiety, as the inability to trust or to rest or to receive. That's why healing isn't optional. It's the path to freedom. Philosophically, healing is the return to wholeness. It's the act of remembering that you are not broken, not damaged, not beyond repair. Even if your past was heavy, even if the pain was real, you are still worthy of joy. You are still capable of peace. And psychologically, healing means integrating what has been fragmented. It means allowing your inner child, the younger version of you who experienced pain or confusion, to finally feel safe, seen, and held. When we do this, we stop reacting from old wounds and start responding from a grounded self. And here's the most important part. Healing is not linear. It does not happen in a straight line. It comes in waves. Some days you'll feel full of light. Other days you'll feel the ache of old memories. That's okay. That's not failure. That's the process. Don't rush it. Don't judge it. Honor it. You are shedding lifetimes of inherited pain. You are interrupting cycles that were never yours to carry in the first place. That is sacred work. One of the most powerful things you can do in your healing journey is to create space for stillness. Just stillness. The mind will want to fix and analyze, but the heart heals in quiet. Sometimes healing doesn't come from doing, it comes from being. Being present with what is, breathing into the discomfort instead of running from it, letting the tears fall, letting the grief move, letting the past pass. You do not have to heal everything at once. You just have to be willing. Willing to listen to yourself with kindness, willing to forgive even if that forgiveness takes time, willing to see your pain not as a sign of weakness, but as evidence that you've lived, you felt, and you still have the capacity to transform. When you embrace your healing journey, you stop living in reaction to the past and start living in response to the present. You gain clarity, you gain power, you become less afraid of being hurt because you know you can hold yourself through it. That in itself is a miracle. So I leave you with this. Don't rush your healing, honor it, let it teach you. Let it open you, because the healed version of you is not a stranger. It's the most radiant version of who you've always been. Living in the present moment, understand the power of now, and how miracles manifest when you align with the present. There comes a moment in every transformation when we must move beyond insight and into action. And this is where many people get stuck. We spend so much time seeking reading, listening, reflecting, that we begin to confuse knowledge with change. But nothing truly shifts until we start to live differently. Spiritual growth must eventually become practical. And this is where daily, aligned action becomes not just important, but vital. You see, every miracle, every breakthrough, every new version of your life is built on the small choices you make every single day. Not just the big, dramatic moments, but the quiet, consistent ones. What do you say to yourself when you wake up in the morning? What do you reach for when you're tired, uncertain, or afraid? Where do you place your attention when no one is watching? These things matter more than you think. We live in a culture that glorifies big results and fast outcomes, but the truth is that real change is cumulative. It's the result of hundreds of tiny, conscious decisions. Decisions to pause instead of react, to choose nourishment over numbness, to speak kindly to yourself even when your mind wants to spiral. These are the invisible acts of devotion that shape your future, and they are available to you every day. This is where we reclaim our power, not by waiting for the right mood or the perfect conditions, but by committing to aligned action even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. Because when you begin to act in accordance with the life you want before it fully arrives, you are telling the universe, I am ready, I am already living as that version of me. That's the essence of manifestation. Alignment, not just emotional alignment, but behavioral alignment. If you desire to be healthy, how does a healthy person act? If you want to experience abundance, how does someone who trusts in life spend, give, or receive? Begin to act from the energy of your future self, not the fears of your past. That shift may seem subtle, but it is profound. Now, let's be honest. This path requires courage. It asks you to show up even when you're scared. It invites you to speak truth when silence would be easier. It challenges you to stay committed even when old habits come knocking. But here's the gift. Every time you take action from a place of clarity and intention, you build trust with yourself. And that trust becomes the inner foundation for every miracle that follows. Psychologically, we thrive on consistency. The nervous system begins to calm when our actions match our values. We stop living in contradiction. We stop betraying ourselves. And philosophically, this is a return to integrity, not just moral integrity, but energetic alignment. The outer life begins to mirror the inner truth, not perfectly, not overnight, but inevitably. This is not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about choosing what honors your growth, even when it's inconvenient. And the beautiful thing is, aligned action doesn't always mean doing more. Sometimes it means resting when you'd normally push. Sometimes it means saying no when you've always said yes. Sometimes it's simply remembering that every single choice is a doorway. So ask yourself today, not in a spirit of pressure, but in a spirit of possibility, what action can I take right now that supports the person I'm becoming? Then do it gently, repeatedly, with love, because the miracle isn't just in the vision, it's in the follow-through. The life you desire is already within reach. Every step you take in alignment with it brings it closer. Walk as if it's already yours and watch the world rise to meet you.